Hi everyone, it's Shar, and welcome back to our Let's Play. So, if you saw the last part, you know that a lot of things picked up, including Paige disabling Gidry. So Gidry's actually on his way out the door because Paige turned him off, even though Gidry knows that the only reason Paige did that is because she's possessed. There he goes with regret in his heart. He is going to leave the house, and yeah, it's going to be a lot. Please prepare yourself. This episode will get absolutely wild. So she's gonna go to sleep. Zoe's gonna go to sleep as well. It's Saturday. It's about 8 a.m. But as you know, this family has no sense of time at all. So what I think is gonna happen is that I don't know, actually. Let's just let this play out. Our dryer is also broken and close to getting set on fire, so that's great. As you know, our kitchen is broken. We have haunting things everywhere, literally everywhere. Everywhere you can see it, there is something haunted and creepy and dark going on. There's a doll here. There was a doll in the kitchen. I don't know if it's still there. Yep, it's still there. There it is. And Temperance made her presence known. Also, someone died. So, if you didn't see the last part, I suggest you go back and watch it because you are going to be lost. These episodes are very much sequential. Eden, my love, what the hell is going on with you? That ain't right, girl. That ain't right. So, I think while Eden was sleeping, Temperance took full control over her, and I can kind of sense and know this just because when Paige was turning off Gidry, she had the same eyes. Not the redness around. She thinks that Temperance maybe has more control than she lets on, but just the same kind of massive, overblown, super, super dark pupils. And it's more obvious on Eden. Let me just get her here. Eden, come here. It's more obvious on Eden because Eden naturally has like greenish kind of lime colored eyes, and her eyes are very much like massive dark black here. So she ain't with us. She is completely possessed right now, and Temperance is just having her go to the kitchen and serve some fruit salad. She's saying she can't because the sink is broken. Okay. So she can't get to the fridge because the doll is blocking it. So what I'm going to have her do is just order some food. Lights are flickering. Yes, Temperance insists that there be food in this household. So let's see what we can do. We can hire a service, and Zoe's going to come talk to her mom, realize something is horribly wrong, and flee the house. Food delivery, please. Let's order some French toast. Yeah. Zoe feels the voodoo of the house for the first time ever. She feels dazed, like she hit her head. She's in pain. She recognizes the evil symbols, and now she's going to go talk with her mom, and she's going to freak out because, girl, that ain't her mom. She's like, I'm gonna go now. So Zoe's going to leave the house, and I think what she wants to do is try to find Gidry because Zoe has such strong psychic abilities. I think she recognizes that if she could find Gidry, he could perhaps help the household, because at this point, Eden is fully possessed, and based on how Paige was talking to Temperance in the last episode, I think she also knows that Paige is, if not possessed, well on her way to being possessed. Okay, so Zoe is at the library where hopefully she stops feeling the effects of the voodoo. The fact that the house was affecting her should let you know just how strong the voodoo was, because Zoe's normally not affected by the paranormal activity to the same extent. Yes, she feels like the pain, but the fact that it's actually affecting her mind and not her body is highly concerning. So she's going to get some info on paranormal haunting, whatever she can find. Apparently, let's start with the unlikely series of coincidence. Maybe that book is not as fictional as the Sims world has been led to believe, and she's also just going to look for Gidry here. But I think at the very least, she's relieved to be out of the house and trying to find some support. But honestly, I don't see Gidry here. He's not hanging out here. So this library is beautiful. I downloaded it a really long time ago because this is one of my older save files, so I don't know who it's by, but it's absolutely stunning. So Zoe is doing what she can to find out information about the occult, about ghosts, about hauntings, about the history of her house, and what she can do to save her family. But our poor girl is going through a lot. Her family is quite literally possessed at the moment. Ah, a spellcaster. You should know something, sir. Do you know anything about ghosts? And deep down below her possession, Eden is having a bad time. She is absolutely terrified and she needs to scream it out. The time for screaming has passed, my love. It has passed. So she's going to talk to Simeon because he's a spellcaster and maybe he has more information about ghosts and haunting, considering he knows something about magic and maybe the spell or the ritual that was used all those thousands of years ago to turn Vlad into a vampire. So get some information, Zoe. She wants to be friendly with her mom. If only your mom wasn't possessed. Yes, and now that she's away from the house, the voodoo is getting off of her, the painful bits, the physical bits. She was able to shake off the mental voodoo quite a while ago. She's like, so I think that my parents are possessed. I think my mom's possessed. I think my sister's possessed too. Do you know anything about vampires or ghosts? Give him some fake bad news, actually real bad news. Like, hey, I'm scared for my family. He's like, oh my gosh, what? What's happening? Share ideas of how you think you can help your family. So while Zoe is talking to Simeon and getting a sense, he's actually outright refusing to help her and walking away just sad. I think at this point he knows that there's probably not much that she can do, but Paige is going to do her best to stay as far out of the house as she can, because she just does not want to be home, and she's going to be looking for Gidry while she's here in the library, doing the best that she can to find information about how to help her family. She needs to get them out of the house, but that's very unlikely considering that Eden is now possessed by the house and is not going to be likely to leave. So while Zoe's doing that and just taking care of herself and finding ways to help, I'm going to switch control to Eden. Eden's going to completely ignore everything. She touched the French toast. She's going to come here and she is going to just get the food ready for her family. As always, Temperance is possessing Paige and Eden at this point, so I think she's going to want them to do a group seance. Invoke the dead with Eden, because Temperance does have complete control over Eden and Paige at this point. Temperance has complete control over them, but they still have moments of panic, so they're fighting off the possession, but it's too late. She's got them. She has got them. The seance was interrupted. Well, love, you're gonna try again. Invoke the dead. And Eden keeps opening her eyes to check if any of the spirits are coming around, because that's ultimately what Temperance wants to do. She wants to invoke all of the spirits of the Sims who have died in this house. And there they are! Full of rage. Just in the house. And of course, they're going to offer their souls to the spirits, as Temperance did intend. Paige is doing it. You have got to do it too. And that was the final step of the ritual. Paige needed to offer her soul to the specter. She feels like something is missing. Losing a piece of your soul isn't the most pleasant feeling. At least the specter made good use of it, right? If you mean took it so it would be forever trapped in this house as a specter, then yeah, totally. She did it too. Eden also offered her soul, and she's also in pain now. That would be Temperance, love. So you can use the bathroom. You can also take a shower. And then you and Paige are going to come downstairs and hang out for a bit. The house has got you. So you're going to go here. Paige, you're going to suddenly wake up out of your sleep and also go here. And they're just going to have dinner together. None of them noticing that Zoe is gone. And I think that Temperance would have ideally wanted Zoe here, but Zoe's just too strong. Zoe has such a powerful psychic ability and such a pure energy that it's really difficult for any spirit, including Temperance herself, to possess her, although she got very, very close. So, Eden, you're going to grab a serving, even though you're not hungry for whatever reason you want to eat. Remember that Eden had the food first. Paige, you're also going to grab a serving. Zoe just returned home, but she's literally refusing to go into the house. And Eden and Paige are just sitting down and eating French toast. That does not look good. There's literally stinky food next to them, and they're both just mindlessly eating food, and Zoe is outright refusing to go into the house, and she's just hanging out in the snow by the pond because I think she senses that something is going wrong and that she could help her family, but she has no idea what's going on in the kitchen. Okay, so Zoe's at the pond in the back. She's trying to commune. She's going to come into the house. She's like, okay, we'll figure it out. Oh my gosh. Eden is dying from poisoning. She's going to come into the house, but she senses that something is terribly wrong. So she's going to come into the kitchen. Oh my gosh, the French toast, the French toast. That's what Temperance wanted us to eat. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I think Paige finally noticed, but she's not stopping eating the French toast, even though she just saw her mother drop. She was eating that French toast too. Paige is dying from poisoning. Oh my gosh, Eden poisoned the food. Eden poisoned the food. Ah! Oh my gosh. Zoe, please, you don't need to see this. You don't need to see this. Zoe. But Zoe's too psychic. She would know. I need a picture. Of course I need a picture of this. Hello? Oh my gosh. Eden poisoned the food. It's the Reaper. It's the Reaper. Ah! Zoe knows. She knows. No, Zoe. She's witnessing death. She knows. Zoe. She's like, and Grim is laughing. Grim thinks this is the funniest thing. Oh my gosh. Zoe knows that it was reaped, and I think that Zoe would be feeling... she would be feeling a fury. Now that both of her family members, her only family members, are dead, I think that Zoe can see all the objects for the first time, like, ever. And she's going to take it out with a fury. But of course, we know the social workers will have to pick Zoe up soon. But right now, no one knows that they died. Zoe, my love. My poor darling girl. And in her grief, she's going to find a fit of anger while she watches the Reaper. She's probably one of the only people that can see the Reaper. Take her mother and her sister's soul. And what's so sad is we know that under Temperance's control, she had Paige and Eden give a part of the soul. So they're going to be doomed. Part of their spirit will be doomed to haunt this house forever. And that's it. Oh, Paige, my honey. I'm actually so upset right now. And that was the social workers. Social workers came and took Eden away as soon as they got notification that they died. Wow. And just like that, we get booted into the Z family. I didn't even put us in the Z family. We literally just got booted here, which makes me think that Temperance has found her next victims. But anyway, y'all, that's the end of our paranormal LP. Poor Zoe loses her entire family and becomes an orphan. They never even had a chance. Temperance took complete possession of them, and she's on to the next household in Forgotten Hollow. So thank you all so much for watching the series. I hope that you enjoyed it, and stick around because there's a few more things I want you to see. Ignore the screaming child in the background. It is her bedtime and she does not want to go to sleep. So this is where little Zoe got taken. This is an orphanage in Willow Creek. She's only going to be here until they're able to find her a foster family. So Zoe is going, obviously she's really sad. She literally just witnessed her mother murder her sister and also die of poisoning. So that would be very traumatic, but this is the orphans are going to live in. That's not it. Hello. Where's the orphanage? Come here. This is the orphanage that she's going to live in. So I'm going to have her come inside and honestly just cry it out. She's not going to be here for very long, and understandably, she's not feeling social at all. I think of all the rooms, which room would Zoe get? She would probably get this room here. So I'm going to have, no, actually, excuse me, this room here. So I'm going to have Zoe cry it out. And this is Zoe's next chapter. Great. From one haunted house into another.
Now that you're gone, I spend my nights all alone here, wishing you were here, sweet atmosphere.